All right, it's 9 o'clock. You'd join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Welcome, everyone. Get right into our miscellaneous stuff. We have the minutes of the Monday, March 16th, 2026 meeting. I'd entertain a motion to approve them as written.
So moved.
Motion by Barker, seconded by McCurry. All in favor, say aye.
I will abstain since I wasn't here.
It passes 4-0-1. One abstention from Avondale. And we have 4 tax abatements in the amount of $180.18. Everybody had a chance to look those over. I would entertain a motion to approve those 4 tax abatements.
I'll move.
I'll second that.
McCurry moved, Thompson seconded. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
They opposed, that passes 5-0. We have a number of motions on some job descriptions. I don't know about you all, but I would like to probably postpone those a little bit. And I think 4 or 5 of them are from the sheriff. Wade, is Tom planning on being here for the pay app stuff?
I believe so.
Maybe while he's up here.
I would like to, if he does come up, I'd like to see the old ones and see what the revisions were between them.
Just some more information about
to see what it is, because this seems to be an ongoing process that we've got going on, people wanting to do it. And I feel that we shouldn't be moving people across salary schedules unless, 1, it's the first of the year, or 2, it's their anniversary. Just for the heck of it doing it, I just don't think we need to be doing that.
Okay. Well, I definitely would like to have a better explanation myself. Then we also have some from the appraiser, which she presented before. I think it's still like for her to come up again and just see what the changes are from before. But we'll do that a little bit later on.
Do you want me to contact them, or do you want?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I would contact them, and I'd like to be able to work them in, but Tom will be up here, should be up here at 9:30 anyway, so.
You probably want to advance notice.
Yeah, you can give him a heads up that we want some additional information. As far as Connie, if you can give her a heads up that maybe we can just contact her to fill in a break or somewhere.
Wait, did you want to contact Tom, or you want me to? Or?
I can.
Okay. I can let Connie know, or you want to let her know too? I mean, I'm fine. I just didn't know what you wanted to do.
I'll see if Tom's gonna be here. I'll let you contact Connie.
Okay.
Okay, and then I don't think we have any other miscellaneous functions unless I'm missing something. Okay, we'll go ahead and move to our first appointment with, looks like Kenny Roney's here instead of Brian.
Yep.
For the Road and Bridge Department, Highway Department.
Morning, guys.
Hello, how are you?
All right. I wasn't sure if you guys wanted paper copies of these RFPs for the preliminary engineering.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Kenny. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Yep.
I got one. Alright. Well, we, opened up our, bids for this. We sent it out to 3 different ones and got 2 of them, 2 back. One from BG and one from Cook Flats. Based off of what we received, we feel that BG would be the better consultant for this, on top of the amount of time that was put into their submittal. Even though it's quite a bit more, but it seems for what we're wanting, might put a little bit more time in to doing the preliminary engineering services for B-165.
Saying BG has history with that bridge also?
I think
Is that
so,
correct?
yeah. But both Cook Flat and BG both have history. They both have done our bridge inspections in the past. So, in fact, BG was the one company that did the deck resurfacing on it here about 5 years ago.
So the extended timeline, it sounds like BG would have the project basically done in a longer time span than we were anticipating.
Yeah, but I think that's more for being more thorough.
Do you have any idea why there's such a price differentiation between the two?
No, not at all. It's
Just with, this information, or Keith's information, is kind of concerning on that. But
Yeah.
I think that BG, would be all right with them.
okay.
Because we don't need to have a whole bunch of cost overrides. And also, there's more of a problem. I think there's been a good study done by what BG's done.
This bridge, I mean, if I understand right, I mean, we know something needs to be done, but it's not urgent.
Right. I mean, it has I believe it's a 16-ton weight limit on it for single axle. So I mean, it's pretty low.
That's the one south of Louisville.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And by getting on the ball, getting something looked at, getting the plan, I think will be more cost effective.
Has anybody talked to BG yet to see if they could shorten up that timeline?
No.
Can we get with them and push them a little bit and see if they can shorten that time up?
I mean, yeah, we can, or at least get
At least
some more
a month.
detail.
Yeah, I'll call on it so it doesn't drag on forever.
Mhm. Yeah, we can do that.
Maybe you can do that, and if we make the approval of the bid, can we do that next week?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not gonna put you guys in a bind or anything.
I don't think so.
Okay. I'd suggest that, just see if we can get them to shorten it up and go from there.
Just hold off on approving this until next week. I'm okay with that too. Give us a chance to look at it a little bit more.
details of it.
Yeah, we definitely can. So, alright, well, the next one we have is our mowing bids. They came in on Wednesday. Would you guys be okay with approving this?
Yeah, I have no problem approving this today.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with that at all.
So we have 4 different places to mow and basically 3 bids to award.
Yes.
Have 3 different people mowing. Okay. Okay, I would entertain a motion to find that bids submitted by Black Rose Land Works for Hope Cemetery, half-mile south of 22nd Road and Emmer Road, in the amount of $30 per event. Kistner Lawn Care LLC for Strawn Monument at 16th Road and Fauna in the amount of $30 per event. And Lindo Enterprises for the Park at Old 50 Highway in the amount of $60 per event, and Rock Creek Cemetery in the amount of $50 per event, with the combined cost of $110 per event. To approve those bids for seasonal mowing, with all bids awarded according to the terms of the bid. And funds would be paid from the Road and Bridge Fund.
I'll make that motion.
Seconded. McCurry moved, Avondra seconded. Do you have any further discussion on that motion?
What is the, go ahead, Tom.
Go ahead.
What's the, who determines the frequency? That's part of that part of the bid.
So, if I remember right, I think, so it, based off, I think it's every other week or determined by the highway department. So if it needs, frequency needs to be higher, but it's.
I seem to remember something about, I was just curious.
Yeah.
What that was. So.
I know last year we ended up having to go a little bit, they ended up having to mow a little bit more.
Just because of the weather.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're not gonna make them mow it if it's, nothing to mow.
Right.
So.
Are we missing a cemetery on here?
These are the only 4 spots that we are in control of for mowing.
Like Waverly Cemetery is handled by that board.
Okay. I just know there's one on 22nd between Fauna and Emmer on the pavement.
That would be Hope Cemetery.
This is half-mile south, because there is a cemetery half-mile south also on Emmer.
Which that one is,
By Rock Quarry there.
yeah, I think that one's controlled by the township.
Just the half-mile south is what threw me on that one.
Yeah. So,
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Passes 5-0.
alright. Also, the survey for the north property, they got all their corners dug up and shot, so now our county surveyor is drawing everything up, and maybe a week or 2 we could have it all complete.
Very good.
So, just for an update on that one.
Very good.
Okay,
So,
appreciate it.
you guys have anything else for me?
I don't believe so.
Alright, well you guys have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Let Connie come in real quick.
Yes.
You can go to the appraiser office. I think she has 2 job descriptions, well, 1 job description and 2,
Great changes.
yeah, payroll notices. If I understand right, a couple of weeks ago when she initially brought that in, we asked her to get more information, and I believe she's possibly made some changes, so find out what exactly those are.
You look from this?
Okay.
Description.
See, mine disappeared on, actually, that hard copy.
What's that?
For job descriptions. I was reading it on the pad, but I think I actually have I have a hard copy.
She's coming.
All right, thanks.
Had to go print it out.
Okay. Hello, Tom.
Hey, Paul.
Thanks for coming in. We just wanted, I know you initially a couple weeks ago, brought in a request to modify the job or create the job description for appraisal specialist 2. And I think we asked you for some more information. I think you've made a few changes to
I have
that,
made
right?
changes. I got some job descriptions from the clerk's office, and they're pretty much all the same from the other job descriptions, so I kind of copied off of that. And I changed the minimum education and the minimum experience, like you guys asked.
And previously, well, right now, with the new job description, the minimum experience is 10 years, right?
Right.
And previously, I think it was 5.
5, yeah.
So,
And I tried to stay with other job descriptions from other offices, and that's what I came up with.
you guys have any further questions for her on the job?
Why are we going to 40 instead of 35?
Because that's where some of the other ones, that's
Some of the
where I
other
feel like
ones.
they should be. That's kind of along the steps with my senior field appraisers. There was several different steps in between the regular one and the senior.
And I don't have that step in chart in front of me, but I think I think at 35 there wasn't much of a change.
Some of the other jobs that we kind of relate to are in the 40s, so that's where I put them. We take tests and have to pass tests, and to do our job, we have to have continuing education.
Are these the only 2 you're gonna
Yes,
wanting to bump up? On one it's 17% bump, and then on the other one it's a 55.
Were we talking about doing the job description first, or are we talking about?
Yeah, we need to do job description first. Yeah, the grade, I mean, your question with why jump from a 30 to a 40, I guess I'm trying to figure out myself, you know, what the significance of each grade, you know, is there a set standards for each grade? Does that make sense?
and there's some of the job descriptions in the 40 we are equal or above, I feel. I think the tax levy clerk is a 40. We work together and stuff, so.
Anybody have any other questions?
I think it should get a 35, but that's just me.
Well, even if it was at a 35, I mean, even if it was at a 35, I mean, you'd go up that grade level and it still would get the same salary, I mean, the salary would change, but they wouldn't get anything less.
Right.
So they'd just be placed on that grade, or on the right step on that grade.
We more, I mean, like I said, the tax levy clerk, we work together. I feel like we're just as qualified as, you know, some of the other jobs in that step 40. I'm not taking on your position, sorry. But I feel like we deserve to be there.
That chart's not in here.
You want it back?
That's okay,
I'll get you one.
here, I have it somewhere, so. Might be in here. Oh, thank you.
You got one down. Hope they don't charge by the mile.
Angie, is there anything that defines the grades? Or are they just kind of arbitrary?
No. Do you want to speak on that, Wade, since you were over the salary study?
So, back when the salary study took place, all of the jobs were sent to McGrath, and then they did some sort of internal point factoring system comparison. That is, they didn't turn that over. They said that's work product for them internally, but that's how everybody got placed into their job description category, and then they sent it back recommending that each position be placed into those particular categories. That's the best description that I have. The salary study probably talks about that some and how they came up with those categories.
I mean, it's obvious looking at it that as the grades increase, there's more education, more certification, things like that. I mean, that's obvious, but I just didn't know how it's defined or.
So in the footnote section, I guess in an appendix to the salary study, there's sort of a recommendation if you were going to change job descriptions or move somebody from one pay level to another, it has to go through a certain process. So that process depends on who it is and what they're doing. Obviously, with elected officials, they do things a little differently. Appointed officials, the one who's done it the most that I've been a part of has been Ryan Durst. Some of the adjustments internally, I think at the time the idea was it made sense, but as different leaders take hold and end up being put in those positions, some of the flexibility and things that they want to see happen internally, either combine positions or divide them up or do something different to divide or add to responsibilities, which then change job descriptions accordingly. Just the best way I can describe it. You know, I remember talking with the sheriff at one point in time for corrections officers, for example, there was only a corrections officer. And for those who have extensive experience, the decision was made after consulting with the sheriff to have corrections officer 1 and corrections officer 2. And corrections officer 2 is someone who has 5 or more years of experience, qualified experience, and has specific training. If I remember right, and I don't want to speak for Tom, but the same thing happened with several positions in road and bridge and other officers. So just trying to modify to meet the needs of those who have limited experience and then those who have more experience, and differentiate between the two. And I don't think the original salary study did that.
Well, I guess that goes back to the other question that Todd had, you know, if I go from a 30 to a 40 instead of a 30 to 35, and I think we have other job descriptions that we're gonna be looking at. I mean, some of them involve grade changes too, so I would like to better understand the grade changes. I don't know, unless you all are satisfied with that.
I'd be satisfied if we passed this, but we did it at a 35 instead of a 40. But if we need more information that could kind of clear the muddy water up here, that's fine with me too.
Well, Connie, are you okay with change that to a pay grade 35, or give us time to look at it and figure?
If I do it to 35, then you're not gonna wanna change it later, so I guess I'll wait.
I mean, just so we understand a little better. I mean, I feel better with just the one grade change.
How long are you gonna take to look at the job descriptions?
I would hope that we're gonna have more stuff coming at us, so I wanna track down that study that you're talking about, Wade, and look at it and see if there's some answers in that.
And if there's others, you might consider having a work session where you can just cover those things and then not make a decision at the work session, but then bring it back later. If that's what you're gonna do with multiple other requests.
I'm more comfortable than I was at the 10-year rather
Yeah.
than the 5.
And I
I don't know
am,
what the
and I
problem
am
is,
too.
why
Yeah.
it's getting frustrated. I've been here 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, well, I'm okay with the 10 years and everything. It's just the pay grade, it's not just you, there's other departments that are bringing in job description changes. We want to understand the jump in the grade. Before approving it. So where you guys are.
Can I
basically.
go talk to my staff and come back? When you guys, before you leave, give me a heads up and let me come back.
Yeah,
Okay?
all right, thanks, Connie. Okay. Sewer 930, our pay app 27 for the court jail. They're divided, these are front and back, just take one off the top.
That's all we need, just.
That's an entire packet. So what you have in front of you is pay app number 27 for the jail construction project. That covers phase 2 in its current state. Current payment due with retainage removed is $306,049.26. First request is from iBurger Construction. It's pay app number 3 for them. Their total amount with retainage is $2,721.38. If you recall, they are the demolition contractor who's been working on that. The majority of their work has already been completed. And if you've been over to the port side, or just to see what it looks like, you'll see substantial progress has been made. And that's for demolition. Next one, tab number 2, IBC Carpentry. Current payment due $19,239.07. That covers mobilization, rough carpentry, and doors, fixtures, hardware. Again, if you've been over to the site, you'll see that quite a bit of work's been done regarding carpentry. Seward Glass, pay app number 11. That payment is due $2,386.80. That's with retainage. And that's for some glazing on some of the glass. I don't remember which glass it is right now. Next would be Higgins Group, walls and ceilings. It's their pay app number 15. The current payment due with retainage removed, $7,155.27. Next is Poly Jail, pay app number 23. Total payment due with retainage removed, $15,413.44. That covers, if you look on page 3 of 5 of their pay app, a number of different things, including engineering for phase 2. Engineering would be for the secured corridor and the doors and connecting them to main control, on-site technical assistance and training, project management. Next would be McElroy's, pay app number 2 for phase 2. Current payment due $164,178.90. That's including removal of the retainage. They've been one of the busier contractors over there. You'll see on page 2 of their pay app that covers installation, controls, duct cleaning, piping, packages, sheet metal, piping material, the labor associated with both. Next is Shelley Electric, pay app 21, current payment due $25,461.90. If you look on page 3 of their pay app, this is one that I requested clarification and an itemized list because on their sheet in column 89, said change order 21, phase 2, $2,034. My opinion is, for transparency purposes, that they have phase 2 as a change order, but it did not detail or outline what was included in the 2034. So Cole went back and asked the subcontractor for a breakdown, and that breakdown should be provided in what's there now. And that should be on basically a spreadsheet type document that shows mobilization, demolition costs, gear, equipment, light fixture, package material, fire alarm subcontractor, telecom subcontractor, material, labor, temporary power, and the bond. And that basically outlines what those amounts are for. In the very right column, I guess the very left column is the total amount, and then in the very right column is the amount that was billed for this pay-app. Also on page 3 of pay-app 21 for Shelley Electric, in column 91, it references an invoice correction that is basically canceled out. That's an internal issue with River City, where they have taken care of that and addressed it, and it's removed on the main spreadsheet. Is the best way to identify that. Myself and the sheriff went through this entire pay app last week with River City. We didn't have any other than getting the itemized list from Shelley Electric for column 89, change order 21, phase 2. If you've been over and viewed the new construction, it all falls in line with the work that's been performed.
This spreadsheet, I got 2 questions on it. Mobilization, $7,000. I mean, we've been on site once, and we're having to pay $7,000 for them to come back down, aren't they, out of Topeka?
Yep.
That's an awful heavy amount, I think.
With phase 1, my understanding is they basically left completely, and then because there was a significant delay between phase 1 and phase 2, they had to bring everything back, and they have I don't remember what their total is. And their total is for phase 2. Over $2 million. And that may be a cold question. I question mobilization fees quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I think it's a normal and routine fee. The others have mobilization fees, and I think my impression is, and Tom can correct me if I'm wrong, fair too, is when the amount is higher and the amount of items and personnel and equipment they have to move in, that mobilization fee may also be allocated to that.
Are you guys comfortable with that much? Let's see. Eric, you're smiling over there.
That's a lot of money, but
I know.
comfortable.
But the thing was that phase 2 is going to start almost immediately, and it prolonged out to where I assume that they did have to move everything back into wherever they were going. I mean, whether, as far as the cost, I don't.
If you look at on page 2 of 3 of their pay app 21, the entire mobilization fee is $74,140. And if you go back and you look at some of the others, I'm not a construction expert, but my assumption is from seeing a number of these, is the mobilization fee across the board has, depending on where they're coming from and what they're bringing in and the personnel, it does have some sticker shock, but I think it's tied to the industry.
As far as the overall cost of the project, it's not gonna affect that at all,
No.
because it's already
No.
built into their bid. And
The other question was on the temp power. One's at $40,000, and this one on this page is $3,500. Are they having to bring generators in, or what's up with that?
We'd have to,
I'm assuming that their temp power in all the past has been wiring, getting somebody in to wire temporary
Just to
Lighting.
wire around?
temporary lighting for all this before they come back in and permanently put it in and then ceiling. It's just temporary lighting in some of the rooms.
if you want more definitive answers, then you can get Cole in and you can, before you approve the payout. I think that's exactly what this process is for. So if you want to table it for a week.
You've got more experience in this. So how you got?
I don't know what kind of stuff they had to move in to bring it up to $7,000. I guess that's my first question.
But if it's part of their bid,
It's part of the bid, right? It's not, as long as they don't go over.
I mean, they're just justifying why they're billing us this amount now.
Right. And I'm not.
I mean, maybe,
You're right.
I share your concerns, Todd, and it seems like a lot, but if that's what they're wanting to label this portion of their bid, then
I mean, is this something they can throw everything in the back of a pickup truck and make one trip, or do they have to have multiple trips?
We can get those questions answered. I think now there's enough question that I'd recommend that you table the motion and you move it on to next week so you can have Cole come in and answer those
A little
questions.
more information.
Is Cole here today?
I don't think he's here today.
I would be okay with that.
Of course, River City should be more concerned than anybody, right? Yeah, they're the ones that have to bear the cost of any overruns or anything, not us. Any other questions? So I understand we want Cole to come in next week? So-
yes.
Okay. Alright, so we'll table that for next week. Do you have anything else, Wade, concerning that payout?
Nothing concerning the payout.
Okay. All right. Tom, since you are here, to give you a heads up, I think we have five job descriptions for you guys? Four. Okay. We had a whole bunch of them. Sorry, I'm looking for them. I guess we're just looking for an explanation, I guess, behind all of it, and like we were talking with Bonnie before, if there's, didn't know where the pay grade changes are, or if there are any on any of them.
And all these that have the changes on them, if you wanna see them. Everything in red is different.
Okay.
See, things have been changed. But what we did is we went, and hopefully, this is in, you know, in hopes, that we hadn't done this revision since 2020. When the new HR consultants came in and did all this. And we were hoping that the commission would sometime this year spend the funds to have the new study done. And if we did that, then we knew that we hadn't updated several of these job descriptions. So, like every good boss, I told Eric he could do it, you know. So Eric got to sit down and go through all of our job descriptions, see what needed to be updated. So these were just 4 apps that we went through. So much has changed in the past 6 years that we wanted to make sure we added everything in, so when HR consultants, if they ever came back to do a study, these would be updated with everything they're doing, to realize that there's just so much more in that job description than there was 6 years ago. So that's why we did what we did for these. There's so much difference and so many differences. I mean, I would be more than happy to give you copies of these to go through them. This is not something that's just going to take a minute to go through.
Right.
So, if you would like these, we'll print these off. Everything in red, as you see, is new, and then you can sit down and have both of them in front of you and see the differences. Would you like?
I would appreciate it.
No, well, I can do that. We can do that easily. So we can do that.
Are any of them new job descriptions for new positions, or?
No, these are not new positions. Dispatchers,
They're just revised job descriptions?
just revised job descriptions is all that.
Updated.
Updated job descriptions.
added duties, so job titles
Have
might
they-
have changed.
Yeah.
Have any of them changed pay grades?
Yes, there's pay grade changes. Sure.
Are there pay grade changes that jump more than one grade?
Yes.
Yes,
That's
sure is.
what we're going through right now.
Yeah, one, I think.
Yeah.
Do what, Eric? You say one.
One.
Well, there may be two, but at least one.
Yeah.
So I'd like to take this on advisement and be able to look through what your revisions are.
Absolutely, you should.
Yeah,
I just think that'd give us some feedback on why you're doing it and what's going on.
Absolutely, And the costs.
And cost of it.
absolutely. So we can bring that up, and we're gonna do a work session like we talked about. So we can bring that to you and discuss it next Monday. Whatever you wanna do.
Sounds good.
We signed one certificate.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Are we expecting any other job description changes or updates from other departments? Or?
Oh, I don't know about others, I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't know. Nobody's requested to be put on the agenda for it yet, so.
If we were, it'd be nice to have them all at once, and then if we do a workshop and really figure that out. Would you guys like to have a workshop another day, or just?
Yeah, I'd like to see them first, you know. I mean, it may be all hunky-dory, other than discussing about the two-step grade jump.
I'm sure they're all pretty much gonna be fine.
Yeah.
But I do wanna understand based on that salary study, understand those grade changes.
But that salary study was done 5 years ago, so or 6, so that's,
6 years.
so that's
We're
gonna
just
be.
we're just looking ahead, guys. We're hoping
Sure.
that if that came through, then these would be, comparable to where they needed to go. That's all we're trying to do,
Right.
so.
Well, and the discussion about it, just brings it out in the open for the public and everybody else
Absolutely.
to try to understand.
Yeah, we're not trying to hide anything.
No, I know, that's my point too.
Yeah,
Nor do I want to.
Where those pay grade changes happen, that you know, that's not just because we thought that job was worth more. It's a true review of the new job duties that that position has taken on versus what it was in 2020.
Right.
That's what we're doing, so.
And all we're trying to do is just understand.
No, we understand.
Before we
We're-
make a decision.
Good job.
We'll get these alternate off with the old one, the old job description, and the new one in red with all the changes, and we'll get them to you, and you can make your decision.
Great.
Okay,
Great.
appreciate it.
Because a new wage study would reflect what you're doing, I mean, should reflect what you're doing now. Is that right? I mean,
Well,
that would be.
all we
the
wanna
intent.
do is HR consultants, whoever this group was,
Right,
set those pay grades up with that, you know, say dispatcher, and they say it's a 35.
right.
We just want now to say, if this new study is done, we want that group to say, okay, you know, the sheriff is saying it should be a 40. And so all we want to do is upgrade those descriptions of things that we didn't have back then.
Sure.
And now they're having to do those duties. So these consultants, whoever can say, yeah, that's probably where they need to be, or no, they shouldn't be, you know.
Right.
Maybe they'll tell they need to be higher, we don't know.
Right.
But right now, that's where we think that they need to be.
Basically getting those duties and the new responsibilities put into place.
Absolutely, sir.
And show why.
Absolutely.
I understand.
Okay. Any other questions for Tom?
Tom, can you bring us up to speed on your permits with the Fed? Because we're getting ready to do budgets again. We gotta figure out what's going on there.
But we're still in the whole pattern of waiting for them to tell us that we're going to the next step. We have probably, another 40 days, 45?
When they initially answer you, they tell you you have 120, they have 120 days, which usually means they're gonna take 120 days. I had to make a change in the math, that we didn't have the figures for when I submitted the first time, that added, or restarted the 120-day clock. So, we're looking at probably June to get an answer from them. If we're lucky, and we have somebody that's ahead of schedule, we'll get them to push it to us before that, but I'm expecting June.
So then, once we get permitted on that, how long do you think it'll be before they'll start assigning?
So that permit allows them to come in and do the inspection.
Okay,
We're kind of
We talked
learning
about
as we
that,
go
yeah.
here as well. We don't get a whole lot of ahead of how long will it take. We don't get those answers.
so we're not looking at theoretically any income off of this for this fiscal year?
Your guess is as good as mine, Todd. We just don't know.
Well, but I mean, just from our standpoint, when we're gonna start doing budgeting for the next year, you know, we're gonna have to see where I'm coming from on this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's, I mean, that's trying to do our budget, so we don't know. You know, it's the federal government, they're here to help, you know.
Fires don't matter if you build them with them guys.
You
They
cannot
don't
light
pay
one
any
over there.
attention to
Yeah,
that.
we've tried.
They don't pay any attention.
No, no.
So did I understand earlier that the people that are in charge of this are part of like Homeland Security? These people may be busy doing other things that they've been assigned to?
So we've
that part of the
personally
problem?
spoken to the U.S. Marshal, personally, we both know him personally. We've spoken to him at KSA conferences or whatever. And his wording to us was, when the president tells you to focus on this, you focus on this. And that's not what we're wanting them to do right now. So, he kept telling us, you're on the list, Tom, you're coming. You just gotta bear with us, because when the president tells us to do this, this is what we're doing. We finally got the paperwork, filled it out, and we're just in the waiting process. There's that, we've asked and asked and asked. All we can do is sit and wait.
Keep bugging them.
Oh, we tried.
Okay, any other questions? Okay. Be good with a quick break before we go into Anthem?
Will there be no public comment, or today?
After we run through our agenda, we could have some public comment.
Well, I can just leave you with some stuff, that'd be fine, but I just want it on the record.
Yeah, so.
And if not, then can I just get on the, like, I can speak?
We have one more item on our agenda, so.
Perfect, I'll be
if you
patient,
would-
thanks.
All right, take about
8-minute break. Return at 10:03, sorry. All right, it's 10:03, we're back in session. And first on the agenda is Emergency Management Director Amber Presley. Update.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Yeah,
everybody.
good morning.
We did recently have a windstorm go through. This was on March 10th. The cell came through the south end of the county, and at the very east edge of the county, right before it crossed over into Anderson County, it dropped down with some heavy winds, and we had some residents at 11th and Xeric sustained some damage. They lost a shed that unfortunately had a brand new car inside of it. It flipped their stock trailer over. They just reported to us the other day that they were looking at their attached garage that was attached to their house, and they noticed that it had moved 3 inches. The windows in the garage are bowed out. They lost several trees in their front yard, and the power lines were all snapped off right in front of their house. There were no injuries, thank goodness. The National Weather Service classified this as straight line wind in a downburst, which is basically a concentrated column of wind that hits the ground and spreads out, causing damage similar to a tornado, but they did not classify it as a tornado. It was just straight line wind. So, the wind core of this cell was 2 miles wide and 6 miles long. The peak winds were 80 to 85 miles per hour. We went out and talked to the landowners the next day, and they were cleaning up all the debris, and they were doing pretty good with everything. I don't believe they didn't report losing any animals or anything right now. Everybody was good, just had some property damage they were going to turn into the insurance. This was a tough little cell. We were actually cleared by the National Weather Service that everything was good, and as it rolled in, it piped up right at the end of the county, hit those guys, and then went over and wreaked havoc in Anderson County and created a lot of damage in Garnett. So
What was the date on that anyway?
March 10th. So we were pretty sure that it was passing right on through. We didn't have much peak winds here. I think there's like maybe a 50 mile per hour wind gust, maybe 60. But it went right on through, and we thought we were good, and then boop, perked right up. You know, there's not much we can do for straight line winds. There's no sirens for that. There's no real warnings for that. It just comes up, hits you, and it's gone. So we were in a tornado watch for most of the day, and we did have the tornado shelters open. But like I said, with a straight line wind situation, it just kind of pops up and hits you. There's not a whole lot we can do.
But it also hit Westphalia, isn't that right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it did hit, yes, it hit part of Westphalia. Garnett sustained the most damage. They were hit pretty hard. I was in talks with the Anderson County Assistant Emergency Manager, because the emergency manager was out at training in Oklahoma then, and he was having a heck of a time. They had all kinds of stuff going on. There was a big fire over there, and I believe there was a hazmat spill too, right around the same time of all of this. So that was the severe weather. The day after that, we had our annual National Weather Service Storm Spotter Talk at the New Strong Community Center. We had 42 in attendance. It was a pretty good presentation by the National Weather Service. My staff and I have been taking in-person and online training. Currently, most of our FEMA training is down and unavailable due to the Homeland Security shutdown. It affects emergency management greatly because a lot of the funding and a lot of the training and exercise avenues that we use are Homeland Security, and when you're down, we can't do much. So, we are still able to access state training, so hopefully we can keep all of our accreditation or our certifications up and going.
Is this gonna affect like the Wolf Creek side of it or anything?
No, we're not evaluated by FEMA this year.
Okay.
I wish we were though. We are next year, so they better get their stuff together
Yeah.
for next year. But no, it doesn't affect that any. I attended the retirement ceremony for Angie Morgan, who is the outgoing director of Kansas Division of Emergency Management. Angie retired with 45 years of service to the state. Many of those she worked at KDM. She also was very big on Wolf Creek response. This is Angie Morgan that you guys talk to on the phone down when we have Wolf Creek drills and exercises. She retired. Attended the regional FEP, which is the Public Health Emergency Preparedness exercise with Chelsea from the Health Department last month in Emporia. It was a really good exercise. It was good to have the EM perspective there to assist public health in any kind of emergency that they might have come up. Myself and staff plan to help with a mock crash presentation for the schools this Wednesday at Kelly Park. Myself and some of my staff will be attending the National Radiological Emergency Preparedness Conference in Overland Park in April. So this is a national conference for people that work with radiation safety, radiation response, and Kansas is hosting it this year. So my staff, along with state and Wolf Creek people, are helping plan the conference. We're assisting with one of the animal decon classes that the state is going to put on, and we're also working registration. And then I've been asked to be on a panel discussion over the unique relationship between the county, the state, and Wolf Creek, because we have a really good working relationship with all three. And I hate to report that it's not like that in every state. Most plants don't work with their locals and their state people. But we are very fortunate that we have good relationships with ours. So they asked us to talk about it because we are a rarity in this kind of thing. So we'll be on that in April. We're planning for Woodson County, Coffee County Hospital, and EMS to be trained and evaluated this year for their Wolf Creek response. We don't have any EOC evaluation, like I told Steve, this year. We might have a drill later this year, but the state is really tied up with the FIFA World Cup stuff. They're going to have their EOC activated. They're going to be on Super Watch during World Cup stuff, so they're kind of not wanting to do anything this year. So we may or may not have a practice drill this year.
You said EMS, the hospital, and what else?
Woodson County.
Woodson County,
Yeah,
okay.
Woodson County. Yep. They'll be evaluated. We did Lyon County not last year, but the year before that, and so we get a year off, and then we have Woodson County to do. And I've been in talks with Woodson County EM about all that. We do still participate Wolf Creek drills all year. They have drills all the time, and we participate by having a SIM cell. So when we have a SIM cell, they call one phone number and it goes to my desk, and I play the entire county. It's amazing how easy I am to make decisions. Yep, let's do it. Is there any questions on any of that?
So for the exercises, are you still planning to move the commissioners to the full dispatch room?
Yes, we got the table and chairs in, big long conference table. We're going to get the phones and make sure that there is computer and internet access in there for the assistant to work. Yeah, it looks really good. If you guys want to come down sometime and look at it. We finally got all the consoles. Thank you guys very much for getting those consoles out. Got all the dispatch consoles out, and we've got it set up really nice in there for you. So I think you'll be way more comfortable in there. Plus, we can kind of use that as a conference room for meetings and stuff.
Little more space.
A little bit more space, yeah, Steve was in
That
the
would be
radio,
nice, yeah.
yeah, Steve was in the radio meeting, it's nice in there, huh?
It is,
Yeah.
it is.
It's good, so, yeah, you guys will be in there right next to the EOC, and as I've said before, you guys are in charge of the major decisions and the protective actions, but you're not in charge of the EOC, I am.
Right.
I don't, we had some commissioners that wanted to be in the EOC and wanted to run the EOC and tell people how to do their jobs.
I have no interest in your job.
That's, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't
Not
either.
many people do. I haven't met one person that's like, oh, I want your job. But, well, and same with fire, the sheriff, nobody wants to tell these people how to
That's
run.
what they do.
That's what they do. So, we like having you there, but you don't necessarily have to be in there with us and have to, you know,
Sure.
go through all that. So, we need you there, we need you close, and I think this is gonna work out really good.
So
The
my
only-
goal is to have successful exercise for you,
Yeah.
try to play our little small part.
Yep.
That's all I'm.
Absolutely. The only thing that we need to still kind of work out a little bit is, since dispatch has moved, I've been trying to work with Tammy on what that looks like as far as communications between the sheriff and dispatch and all that stuff. So we're kind of working on that, because they're not just right there. You can't just walk in there. You guys will be in there, so, that's the only thing we have to work on, that we're still, but you guys are all set in there. It looks really nice, comfy chairs, just
Very
like the
good.
EOC chairs. They all match. So, I wanted to give a tower update, and I wanted you to hear it straight from, my communications tech. So this is Austin Lee. Come on up. He's gonna give you an update on everything.
Morning.
So, let's see here. All three towers, Leroy, Gridley, and Lebo, they're all three fully erected, and they are stacked. All three of the shelter houses used for communication equipment to house all of them are delivered, and they're all three locations have the backup generators are delivered as well. The Leroy Tower is the furthest along, since it was stacked first. Everything's progressed on it rather quickly. It's got the electric hooked up. Everybody's been there and gave power, so we have power to our shelter house now. They've started setting a few of the fence posts for the privacy fence, but they're waiting for the delivery of the propane tank, which should hopefully be before April 1st. And then when that shows up, they're gonna finish the fence there, and then the racks, all the communication racks that we have stationed downstairs for the time being, should be getting installed in that shelter house rather quickly. I don't have a set date for that yet. I'm still waiting on TFM and Motorola to get with me on when they want to move that stuff down there. The Lebo Tower, the electrician has started on this location. He's got his meter can and everything set, and power ran to the shelter house. I'm just waiting on a confirmation from Motorola so I can get in contact with Evergy to actually get the meter in and energize that location. As soon as the electrician is done at Lebo, he is moving to Goodley. The Lebo Tower does also have quite a bit of civil work that needs done by the contractor, because when they were erecting that tower and using the crane, they rutted up the Lebo sewer area pretty badly. So that is going to be done by them, and I would rather it be done sooner rather than later, because mowing season's coming up, and see, Lebo's been already on to us about it, but they are trying to wait so they don't have to do it more than once. That's what they're getting at, but I'd rather have it done sooner rather than later. Let's see here, the Gridley Tower, it was the worst one when it came to the foundation. Being up on top of that hill, it had, when they started digging, they had a 3-foot rock ledge that they had to hammer out to get to the depth they needed, which in turn gave us a lot of big chunks of rock up on top of that hill, but we actually found a landowner that wanted to take it all
for all of his washouts that he had, so we don't have to worry about getting rid of it, which is a plus. This Burlington Tower, it is getting new racks installed in our radio room downstairs. I'm waiting on a timeline from Motorola and TFM. I was hopeful that it was going to be done this month, but I haven't heard from them yet. I need to get on them and see if they have a timeline for me. The fiber internet from MT Networks, it's all in the works. Leroy's fiber's coming from the schools right there, so they got to just bore over to where we are. Lebo's fiber is just on the other side of Old 50, so they just got to bore it underneath 50, and then Gridley's fiber was contracted by MT through Hayden, and Hayden has all the pipe and everything in. The fiber's basically there already, so we've already been billed for that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Okay. That was all the labor and material from Hayden. We got billed by MP Networks for that. That is a tower update. The other thing that I had on my radar is our UPS system, our battery backup system that's located in the basement. It's connected for our radio room, old dispatch, and the EOC. Brad came to me and he wanted to be added to our battery backup because he has 13 or 14 individual UPSs in his network cage downstairs, which they run about $2,000 to $2,500 a piece. So it makes sense for him to get onto our UPS system. I am currently in the process of doing a load test to see how much load his network's going to bring to my UPSs. But that equipment is actually connected already, and it should be taken out this week, and then I'll be getting accurate quotes from different UPS vendors to start that process. So.
And Brad has said that he would help fund half of it.
Yes.
I'd like that on record too.
Yep. But that is my update for the towers. You guys have any questions? The towers or the UPS system or anything?
Sounds like things are progressing.
Yep, it's progressing. I'm still hopeful for a May time frame. It was end of April, but it's been pushed back a little bit just because of the weather, and the crane work at Grizzly was kind of muddy and been a headache up there, but I'm still hopeful for May to get everything up and running, so.
Great.
That's all I got.
Okay.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Austin or Amber?
We'll leave you to it then.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Okay.
Right. Let's see to that agenda. Kimberlyn, what's your name, right?
Yeah, I just want
Yeah,
to.
we can give you a few minutes for
I
public comment.
won't even take all of that, and I didn't make oodles of copies, but ultimately this is for the new guys, because you guys who have been here longer, I'm pretty sure you're probably aware of this. But this is all, I want you guys to be aware of this, before next Wednesday's meeting. And I will, leave you with this too. And this is, like, I'm pretty sure Mr. Bowie has backed himself into a conflict of interest, so here is how we can move forward on what I've just showed you there. And I hope that you will do your job and follow through with that. That's all. Could you pass that along to
Can you
them?
make copies
Yeah,
of those
I was
and give
just-
them to everybody? Got copies made.
That's all.
That's it?
That's it. I just wanted you guys to have that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in. Okay, that is the end of the agenda. We do have some things to sign, but do we want to go into round table? We can, you can kick us off, Wade.
I'm not sure what the conflict of interest is. I mean, to walk in and hand something out, say there's a conflict of interest. I will say,
Haven't had
over
a
the course,
chance to read it,
Yeah.
make a copy for you too, so.
once I see it, I can, give an opinion on it.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Tom and I were gonna, and Tom's probably the better one to talk about it, but over at the jail, the new jail, there have been issues that have been, I guess, escalating over time or ongoing over time regarding the hardness of the water and the pipes backing up and then having to go in repeatedly and clean it out. And it's become an issue multiple times in the jail to the point where the recommendation is to add a water softener. And somebody came down from Topeka and did a water hardness test, and the water hardness, at least locally, is significant.
Off the charts.
Yeah. So what that means is if nothing is done, it's gonna continually be a problem in the jail.
So let me clarify a couple of things here. So what's happened is on the water heaters, for example, there are sediment screens built into those. This system is so sophisticated, it tells us when there's a low water flow or a stoppage or anything else. And of course, for example, if there's a low flow, it'll shut off the boiler for safety concerns and all this. And we've dealt with that off and on since we've moved over there. So we got to checking the screens, these sediment screens, and it's constantly picking up sediment, calcium,
Lime,
pardon me?
lime,
Yep, all that in these sediment screens and causing some blockage. The other day, I don't know, it's been 3 weeks ago now probably, we had no water in some of our showers in the jail. So they went in and started pulling screens, and the screens weren't full. They ended up cutting out some, I'm sorry, I printed pictures off to show you. They cut off some fittings coming into this. It's a 4-way splitter, and it was completely blocked. Completely blocked. So they replaced a $1,600 valve because of this blockage. Sirs, we've had 2 of those now, $3,200. There's that much sediment and stuff coming in here. So, of course, I threw a baby fit, threw some chairs, and said something's got to be fixed here. What do we got to do here? So they said, well, they thought that due to the water hardness and everything else, we needed to have a water softener brought in here. We got a bid the other day for $74,649. I said, well, surely there's got to be a different way to do this. I mean, you're talking, $80,000. My thought was, me being the simpleton that I am, why can't we put some of these filters, ahead of this jail where the water comes in to take care of this? Well, you might, but that doesn't take care of the hardness. Filters, you may be able to get that sediment, but you're not going to get this. Sirs, we went in, my team, one of my lieutenants is up on this. He knows this system. And he's been going in weekly and cleaning these sediment traps out. And it's got we've had this many times, those sediment traps now, are just, I've had to order new sediment traps, and we've been in this place 6 months. So we know that this is a problem. Here's my deal. We have 14 of these systems coming in, water systems coming in. 6 of them are hot water demand. They're in the North Chase. We haven't any problems with those, but all the rest of them we have. So I've asked River City to go in and pull those sediment screens off those 6 on demands and see if they have sediment in them. If they don't have sediment, then we got another problem. It's all going to another part of the building. So they're supposed to this week pull those filters off those 6 on-demands, because I can't believe that they don't have anything in them and the rest of them do. But no matter what, if we put in this water softener system, I've asked that all these lines be flushed before they put anything in. There is so much sediment coming in. So that's where we're at right now, but the price tag they're saying is $76,000. Now, McElroy's, who is the plumber, have said, Tom, you can probably get your local plumber to come in and save you thousands and thousands of dollars on labor. Our labor is going to be much more expensive than probably a local plumber. So we reached out to, let's say, Cooks, and said, can you put this system in? And they're checking to see whether they're able to do better or not. We've talked to Neil. Neil said he thought he could do it. They already know where it's going to go. It's in the North Chase. There's space there to put it. But they told us up front, Tom, you probably want to get a local plumber to do this. So I appreciate them saying, hey, you can have a local guy do this rather than us and save you a lot of money.
Did you have issues before, Tom? I mean, like in the old jail, I mean,
That was on this system right here, and you don't have the precise electronic multi-valve stuff over here that you have over there.
You're talking about sediment screens catching a whole bunch of stuff. Where's it coming from? Well, that's what I'm saying, is it some problem?
They're saying it's the water.
Is it some problem with the city?
that's what I was gonna ask, is it on the city side, Tom?
Yeah, could that be that you've increased the flow on the line somewhere?
Nobody's telling us that. Nobody's telling us.
now that's
I've asked
bringing
those questions for 6 months. Nobody's telling us that. That's why they finally had somebody come in and do a water hardness test.
Yeah,
And
that's,
With water hardness, I mean, that's gonna take a while to cause problems, and I know with electronics and stuff like that, but with nothing else having problems,
if you're,
there's something fishy.
yeah, if your lines are full of junk, then it's
here's what we're seeing. Here's one of those.
There's something else going on.
That's what we're seeing in these valves.
Oh my gosh.
That's totally plugged, 100% plugged.
Almost like it's a galvanized pipe. If you build it inside.
So that's the valve down at the bottom, and that's just a water inlet, and they've had to cut both those off to get those replaced.
Those are sediment deposits from water.
Yeah. So that's what we're dealing with.
so that line, I mean, is that the line where there's a fire hydrant out here at the corner of the building? Is that where the feed comes into the building?
It comes out in that, yeah, in that north end, yeah.
I mean,
So,
I'm not, in charge of the water department, that can flush it through that fire hydrant.
That's what I'm
Maybe
wondering.
get rid of some of that stuff before it gets to the building.
I'm curious, have you talked to the water department?
yes, we have.
Okay.
It just seems like it's odd that you're getting it in one feed, not the other.
No
You know,
kidding.
That we haven't had a problem here.
Yeah, been online that long.
That would make me think that the increased flow is bringing some stuff from somewhere that's been settled out. I don't know.
Do you have any idea when they flushed last, the city?
Oh, I have no idea about that. We've asked them to come down and flush all these lines. In the building, flush everything, try to get some of this out of there. And they're saying they don't think it'll make a difference. So,
Who's saying that?
the city.
The city?
Yeah, I mean, you just flush it before it gets here, but yeah.
So the issue then becomes, I think, okay, we just get some filters, put in ahead of the building,
Right.
on the north end of the building, where the water comes in. Maybe that'll make a difference. We don't have to spend $76,000. But that's not, so, when we were building this building for the last 6 years ago, the engineers that we dealt with, that we didn't get along with real well, remember Introva was their names, I'll say it. Well, Goldberg, has totally thrown them off the bus. They don't even work with them anymore because of all the problems they've caused. Introva's the engineers that built this system, that sold us this system. I asked River City, said, I want somebody to tell me what the problem is with this system. Tell us, is it the system that we're dealing with? It's not. It's just a precise system. It has to be, has to be what it is. But they've got with a new engineer, totally new engineer, and they asked the engineer what they thought needed to happen. And the engineers told us, that's who the printout that I've got from them for $76,000 is from the new engineer. And the new engineer says you're gonna have to have a water softener filtration system. So, it's gonna come down to, I'm not gonna come to you to ask for decisions until we get these 6 on-demands looked at. I wanna know what those sediment systems look like in those on-demands.
Right.
Yeah.
Because then we have another question. If those are completely clear, I can't believe they would be, but if they're clear and don't have the sediment that the rest of the place has, why is it only in the other side of the building? So, there's gonna be some questions asked, hopefully I can get answers in the next couple of weeks. But if we don't have any answers, then the last thing we're gonna have to do is get this water filtration system. There's no way that I can continue to have my staff, and we're trying to get Barb involved. Barb's came over and been very good about, hey, show me what needs to be done. She's helping us do some of this stuff. But I've got my staff crawling up on the roof, resetting water, RTUs and water boilers because there's nobody else to do it, and we have to do it because it's throwing us an alarm. So he goes in, cleans a screen, replaces it, puts it in because it's got a low water or a shut-off alarm going off. And he replaces those, cleans those, then has to crawl back up on the roof and reset RT. Yeah, that's what we're having to do on a weekly basis, sometimes multiple times during the week. This system is so precise, if there should be, 5 gallons of water going through a minute, and it's down to 2, it sets an alarm off, says there's a low water alarm, and then shuts the boiler off so it don't blow up. It's just, it is so precise on these computers and got so many parameters, so close to parameters on it, and it probably should. But yeah, we're having to deal with it because of the hard water side.
Hard water is one thing, but sediment's another.
Oh, sir, you saw the pictures. I couldn't believe it when they come bringing these pictures. He said these are packed solid. So it's not like they're just...
Because the hard water itself shouldn't, it's the sediment that's causing the problem.
It's in the water itself, but the sediment is being pushed with the water.
So not only that is the hardness of the water. So the hardness of the water is already causing all these calcium falls, already.
Okay.
So it's already causing that. So when you see pull these screens out, and you can literally take these screens, they had a Gatorade bottle, and I said, I want to see what's in it. And they're scraping these filters out, and you can see it and put it in a Gatorade bottle, and then shake it and hear that sediment in there. That's the problem we're dealing with.
Sounds to me like the filters ought to be on the other side of the meter. Let the city deal with it.
Me being the simpleton, that's what I would say. Why isn't there filters ahead of this system before it comes in?
Yeah.
I'd much rather go out and change filters outside someplace before it gets in the building. But they kind of act like I'm stupid, like that's not something they can do.
Somebody's sidestepping what's going on here. Those lines need to be flushed.
I've said that before. I said, I ordered all these new screens. I expect them to be here probably today or tomorrow. And I said, I cannot believe I'm going to put new screens in all these, and we can't get somebody there and flush this entire system. Now, that's not going to be something simple to come and flush the entire building. You're going to have everything shut off, all the water shut off, I'm assuming, to do this. But
I'm thinking I think Steve said, I think the water lines to the meter, need to be flushed.
That's my thought.
Yeah.
Where it's coming through the lines.
Because that's being washed in here. Hard water, like Todd said, is in the water, but this is
sediment.
trash that's being
Trash
brought
is coming
over
into your building, and
oh yes, sir. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
because, there's, throughout the county, we have hard water or soft water, but we don't have that type of problem. And I realize that your system is highly sophisticated, but
it's a pain.
Do you still have the sediment collected? Is there anywhere we can send that to be?
I said the same thing.
analyzed?
That's the same thing I said. What's it going to tell us? I'm not smart enough to tell you that. Yeah, we can go up today and get more. But what do we do with it once they tell us? I mean, is it gonna tell us that it's calcium and lime? Is that what it is?
I think they could do, but, okay, I'm a simpleton too, but if we're not having those kind of problems anywhere else in this building, our water fountains work and everything, and how long have you been online over there?
8 months?
8 months. It shouldn't be, from what I see there, like that.
You and me both. So again, that's what I put out to River City. I've already bought the screens and replaced in these 14 systems. I think this week we told them we wanted to get those 6 on-demands in the north end checked, and then I'll have some more answers after they get that checked. But we reached out to River City, they're our liaisons, and said we want this flushed and we want this fixed. How do we get it done? And that's what the engineers are telling us. So we'll know more once we get these 6.
I would say a back flush of the system and a flush of the water lines too, need to be done.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna help. I don't think it's gonna help the water hardness.
The hardness is one thing, but the sediment's another.
Right. So you're in the same boat we are. You're in the same thoughts as I am. I just don't know the answers to all of them. I don't know that a $76,000 water softener system is going to fix the problem.
I was gonna say, it'll solve the hardness of the water, but it's not going to solve the sediment that's
There's
coming
some
through.
there's some filtration with it too. There's
Right.
some type of filtration screens that come with this.
I don't know what it costs on that once you have the water softener, if it's done with salt. You're gonna have an expensive salt every month.
This is something that, and we asked that too, this is something that you have to fill twice a year. There's some new stuff. Everything's new, Todd, you know how it goes. It's costly, you know. But yeah, what we were told is we wouldn't have to be putting salt in every week or something like that. That's not what this system is. But I'll do some checking, I'll find some answers out, and I'll be back up.
Keep pushing on the city to see if they would flush the line.
Okay.
And then if you can get our people to back flush the system, I think that would be worthy. Or both are, then we'll end up knowing where the material's coming from.
Your guess is as good as mine. Same questions you have, I have. So I just wanted to update you, let you know that bill, that quote came in last week, so.
And if we gotta have it, we're gonna have to have it, but I think there should be something simpler to take care of on this.
And I just thought, oh, they cut someplace, put some type of strainer in there before it came, into the building.
And the quote you got, Tom, was from McElroy's, is that correct?
The quote we got was through the engineer and McElroy's, and there was 2 systems. And this is the system they recommend at $76.
And if this has to happen, then McElroy is saying that a local
plumber could do it. They said they could install it, yeah. So, and like I said, we reached out to Cook, to Neil.
Sure.
And said, can you do this? And I think Neil said he could do it, We'll touch base with him again when the time comes. We'll do that, because he said, Tom, he's gonna save you thousands and thousands of dollars on labor. So you might as well have him getting labor fees rather than us, our rates.
Oh, yeah.
So, but when that time comes, we can reach back out again and see if Cooks can do it. And we can put a bid out or whatever, because there's other plumbers. I'm just saying that.
Right.
Cooks.
Right.
Because they've done stuff here in the past. Other than that, that's my update. It may not be any informational, but it's my headache.
Hopefully you learn more here soon.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Okay.
We also went on
we got to turn the camera off. I'm gonna start throwing chairs.
Keep fighting the good fight.
Well, this fight here that Wade's gonna talk to you about now, we may get into a knockdown drag out here in the commission.
in an effort to save some cost on phase 2, we had looked at pews online to go pick up and bring and have refinished here locally.
For the courtroom, the new courtroom.
For the new courtroom. We had located some pews. I've been in contact with the individual. They were in the Independence, Missouri area at a church that was downsizing or trading out pews for chairs, it communicated with the individual, and they had indicated if we came and picked them up, and there were 30 of them, they would be free, but we'd have to take all 30 at the same time. So we coordinated that. Myself and Tom actually talked to the individual. They indicated, we asked the question, were they wood, how were they secured to the ground, so on and so forth. Last week, we rented a U-Haul and took 2 trailers up with several individuals to get it done. We unhooked all 30 from the ground of the parish of the church, and we started moving them out, and they were 12 feet 8 inches apiece. We get them in the U-Haul first. We get 12, and on the 12th, I don't remember exactly what happened, but one of them became somewhat unstable in the back. Brace snapped off, and what it did was expose what the pew was actually made of, and ends up being a very compressed particle board with a outside laminate, which obviously you can't sand that down and refinish it.
That's what we're trying to get by.
Well, so to make a long story short, that was the end of that experience. We kept the 12. We immediately packed up and drove back and took the U-Haul to the landfill, disposed of the 12 that we had, because at that point they're of no use. And that was a full day's adventure, and then returned the U-Haul. So should have known starting out the day, the U-Haul experience was, it didn't go the way that it was expected to go, and it sort of went sideways from there. So we're trying, but
I will never, ever go with Wade again. Don't ask me to go with him ever again, because I will not go with Wade. I won't go with Wade to Hoover's, okay, alone to another city.
No good deed goes unpunished.
Right.
So the pastor of the church wasn't there. That's who we had been communicating with. His wife showed up, and they were surprised. She was surprised. I'm not sure. I mean, it was a good gesture to, maybe that's why they were free. I don't know. But we're still working on that particular angle, and that didn't work out. So you will see a one-way bill for a U-Haul that I thought we were going to be able to come in and give a very positive update for you, but that.
A for effort, you did all the motions to try to accomplish your goal. That didn't work out. I've been there a couple times in life myself.
As I think we probably all have.
So it happened.
Wonderful plan.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for trying.
Yes.
We were trying to do what was right, trying to make save some money, you know. That helped the judge out and get her new, because they'd have been fine, like I said. Just, particle board you can't refinish.
Nope.
So this last thing, I briefly reviewed what was handed out. There's a letter to the Bureau of Indian Affairs regarding the Nansemond Indian Nation. A letter that looks like supporting that particular tribe for formal recognition by then Representative Eric Smith, and then a letter doing the same from the former Economic Development Director, Bobby Skipper, and then the cover letter seems to allege I'm not sure the petition 405, which is referenced in the letter to the Bureau of Indian Affairs, petition 405, and official misconduct, I don't know. And then suggesting probably where the conflict comes in is that I'm somehow involved or associated in official misconduct. It's easy to go on the internet and type in a bunch of words and come up with a bunch of things that somebody thinks applies. I'm not sure exactly what this is. There's nothing to my knowledge that has been done illegally by this board, illegally as it relates to this particular petition 405. In fact, I don't even know what this petition 405 is. There's insinuations to, I don't know. So, I'm well aware of my ethical duties and responsibilities, and there have been a number of times where I have exercised my ethical responsibility and taken myself out of situations. There have been a number of cases that Tom's aware of, and I will get either outside counsel or the entity that can come in and do this at any point in time is the AG's office. But the power to investigate, your prosecutor does not investigate anything. Law enforcement, whether it be your local city, county, or state agency, or at the federal level, federal agency has to do an investigation. Once they do an investigation and compile all the data, then they turn it over to a prosecutor, and then that prosecutor makes a decision. So it's difficult to determine and understand exactly what this is and what it's alleging. At any point in time, if anybody has any indication of wrongdoing by the Board of Coffee County Commissioners, any employee, including myself, they are free and open to make a request and look into whatever's been done. I've worked long and hard over the years to have a sound and solid reputation in the legal community, and I will stand by that. I'm not worried about that. If somebody wants to come and investigate and think that they have something, be my guest. So,
I guess, I'm not sure what's to be investigated.
I don't know.
I don't understand anything about this. I mean, it
makes no
sense.
It makes no sense to me.
You say you don't know what petition 405 is?
I have no idea what petition 405.
I don't know.
I assume that it ties to, if you look at the letter from the Mainsaman Indian Nation, it references petition 405.
Okay.
So, outside of that, I don't know.
So was this part of the concern about burial grounds or something?
I honestly don't know.
Or just,
There's
It doesn't,
I don't know,
doesn't jive to me.
I mean, there's nothing, the county did not have anything to do with petition 405 that I'm aware of. I've never seen anything regarding.
So what was petition 405? Does anybody know?
I don't know.
Deals with the Indian tribe.
But I do a lot of research on Indian tribes. I've never heard of this tribe in Kansas.
I was gonna say, I've never heard of this tribe.
Does it say something in here, some connection to the Osage though?
The Osage is prominent around here.
I think maybe Potawatomi.
Or was that what it was?
I-
Maybe it was Ottawa. I'm sorry.
I'm not, but,
I don't know what it pertains to this board.
yeah,
I don't know.
and I don't know what conflict of interest would be. I mean, that's,
I guess if there's a investigation, then
Can email it to
they need
you.
to pursue their own.
You find it?
I think so.
I don't know. It was brought up and it's easy to,
I'm all for being investigated, but I don't think I've done anything wrong. Sure didn't intend to. I don't think anybody else has either, so that's kind of what
not sure what I've got a conflict with that
Yeah,
was
I know.
insinuated earlier. I'm well aware of my duties and responsibilities regarding conflicts and somebody's welcome to, I guess, convince me otherwise, but I don't have anything to hide, never had, never will.
okay.
So, I guess the paperwork is
We can look at it,
duly,
see if we can figure
duly
it
noted, without more.
There's 124 pages about petition 405.
How many?
124 pages.
Wow.
For what?
For petition 405.
We didn't
You
write
guys
it.
want a little bit of light reading, I emailed
Yeah,
it.
but we didn't write it.
We didn't know.
Okay.
I don't even know where it came from.
Is there a synopsis to it or anything?
No,
You just found out Googling it.
yeah.
Good job.
Okay, well, we'll,
Thank you.
guess try to learn more about it this week. What else do you have, Wayne?
I had something I wanted to talk to the board and Brian Durst about, but without him being here, I can't do that. This week should be the first week for publication regarding the street closure, if I remember right.
Correct. Yep.
So, that paperwork is in process and ready to go.
Do we have the hearing scheduled on a future agenda?
Yes.
The hearing was gonna be
It should
April.
April 27th at 10 o'clock, so I think you might want to make sure that's on the agenda.
April 27th at 10 o'clock.
And that street closure,
Yeah, Hillview edition.
Hillview Edition, Rodney street closure hearing. The other road closure that's sort of being worked on behind the scenes, I should have that ready to present next week. I have the names of 3 road viewers, so just need to confirm with their schedules when they're available. And I know one of them indicated they weren't available until late April, so the hearing will be likely beginning of May sometime. And if you remember, that's one where you take the show on the road. The board, as well as the 3 road viewers, go out, you assess whether there's damages, then you vote and form an opinion on whether the road should be vacated or closed, and whether you're substantial reason for or against doing so. That's a summary. You then sign documents relating to both decisions, and they're then incorporated into a resolution that gets filed with the Register of Deeds. The high-level summary of that process. It's a little different than a street closure. Street closure doesn't require the road viewers, but it does require, for example, in the instance of the street closure in the Hillview subdivision, notification to the city of New Strong to determine whether that particular platted subdivision is included in their subdivision regulations, and if so, whether they are in support of or against that street closure. So, number 2, the north property, as Kenny indicated earlier, that legal description will hopefully be done soon. I have the numbers of several different appraisers who, one of them I've been in contact with, the other 2 I have not, who I believe would be, they've been doing it a long time. They've done it for the courts, they've done it for different entities, and I think they would be neutral parties to do the assessment or appraisal once that legal description is completed. The one that I did speak with indicated they need some sort of engagement letter from the county to indicate what's being requested and what the scope of that relationship would be, and then they can provide an estimate. Jenny has also contacted me, and because the rest of the property there's not anything happening with it, at least right now, to consider whether you want to get an appraisal for the parcel with the house and the shop, and then an appraisal for everything else, or how you want to deal with that. If you're doing an appraisal at one time, maybe there's a cost benefit for doing both, but I don't know.
I'm not sure of the need of putting a value on the rest of it at this point. Not myself, I don't think that'd be any point of that.
I think the only reason to have an appraisal is if we decide we're gonna sell it, and I don't think we're at.
Then if we were gonna do that, then we'd probably need a new one at that point.
At that point, like, on the rest of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'd just be throwing money away to do that. Was that hard?
And then you had talked about previously, once those appraisals are done, coming up with a floor for a reserve, and then going out and determining whether you want to go with a real estate agent or do it through an auction type situation. So that's,
right.
So selfishly, I'd like to see that move a lot quicker than others, and the reason why is I don't want to end up going up and cutting the grass, because that takes a while to, it's a lot of grass to cut.
Yeah. Better endeavor you got me involved in.
Such a good friend, buddy.
Oh, yeah, he's,
But you didn't ride there with him necessarily, did you?
no, I didn't. No. The time he did, he had a flat tire, and we had to deal with that when he was up there.
Yeah, because grass cutting is upon us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is cut already.
Yes, we have.
I think we've all kind of had correct me if I'm wrong, guys, that we felt like an auction, it's the easiest way for everybody to have the opportunity.
Oh, I think
that's
it's the best way to do it.
definitely what we want to do,
Yeah.
so. That's my opinion.
That's why we want the appraisals, so we can set
Yeah,
the
yeah,
floor.
we can come up with a floor that we'll know, nobody else will know at that point, and then we can accept or reject if that happens.
And I don't think, Mike was here, but myself and, Eric went up because we had an issue with, we thought we had an issue with the door and the door wasn't locking. It ended up being, it's a special kind of door where you have to do special things.
Operator error.
Operator error. So the door locks just fine.
Therma-Tru's kind of unique with their locking mechanism. That's a 3-point locking system on it, ain't it?
Yeah.
It's Wade Bowie. Okay, let's just be honest. It's Wade Bowie.
Gotcha.
I've done, yeah.
So while we were there, I took the opportunity to walk through and take a video of each floor and then the shop, so that, I mean, there's nothing that stood out, no damage. There's two of the downstairs bathrooms probably need to get a plumber just to check the toilets, but outside of that, we can use the pool cover pump. It works. The pool cover itself, moved it back. Everything appears to be in working order. And
Do we still have those folks taking care of the pool, or how is that?
I think it's that time of year where they come out and probably do the opening. We probably need to reach out to them. My opinion is you want to probably invest in seeing that it's up and operational, because a potential buyer may want to go out and look at it and see that there's no issues with it. If you empty it, I've had a pool before, and I won't ever have another pool for that reason. So if I would have known at the time I bought that house years ago that the pool was what it was, I wouldn't have bought the house. So in this situation, if it's up and operational, I mean, it's been taken care of, well maintained. There shouldn't be any reason why that pool has any issues. Move the cover off and you look down, it needs the robot to run along the bottom and maybe the chemicals to be adjusted, but it's not green, it's actually clear. I mean, you could probably get in it today and it was closed right and it was maintained right, so I don't think there's an issue with it, but you need to get them out.
It needs, in my opinion, it needs to be on the maintenance schedule, whatever they say, kind of like keeping it.
Transfer back over to us.
Needs to be kept in condition, you know.
And cover kept on it.
Yeah.
So outside of that, no other issues. Do you remember seeing anything that stood out?
Nope, everything appeared to be in good shape.
I saw the video, I mean, everything looks like it's in great shape.
That does.
So outside of that, that's all I have for today.
Okay, Todd, did we find anything out about the electric bill on the shop?
I've not had a chance to engage in that. Yep.
On that, and then, have you talked with Tracer any lately?
He had an email come to him, I believe it was copied from KDHE, and he forwarded it to me. He was looking into it.
Have we heard any, well, maybe for Ryan, at the airport roads, I mean, it's time to be getting back on that.
Get with Kilo and find out their schedule.
I think they were out there this morning, I mean, I don't know what they were doing, but I saw Kilo, and then, they had, some skid loaders out there
Okay.
on the, you're talking about phase one, or, or the,
Phase 2.
Phase 2. I think we give them till the end of July to have that whole project completed.
Right, but aren't they going to do something on phase one?
Well, yeah, there was
They
a
were out
change
there all
order.
weekend.
There was
They were out working all weekend.
there was a change
Yep,
order
they were out there all weekend.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're out there now.
They were out all weekend.
Were they?
They were out, yeah, I drove up there Saturday and
Oh, okay.
Sunday going to, and they were out there working.
Okay, I knew they were out there this morning when I
Had a full
came
crew
down.
this weekend
Yeah.
working.
I drove past there yesterday afternoon, there's some fresh asphalt put down.
Well, I
Yeah.
don't either, but.
They were rolling it when I drove by Saturday and Friday. So,
I still think, when we discuss this a little bit, that some of our executive sessions, like people requesting them, I feel that they need to make that in writing, and somebody needs to go over that. Because the commission has control of executive sessions, and I think we need to, because we've gone into some that we should have came out of. So, they're not living up to what they need to be. I think you guys ought to think about that. And that's all I've got.
Maybe just to follow up on that, going into an executive session and you indicated they're not living up to what they've, the request has been. In those particular situations, there's redirection, and that topic is, that if somebody goes off topic.
You redirected. I understand that.
I want to make sure that it's not a situation where someone is saying that things are being talked about and discussed in executive session, that are not subject to executive session. If there's a topic that goes in and that there's I call it the golf slice, then it's redirected and.
Well, I think the tail's trying to wag the dog sometimes.
Sure.
And I think that if we had people that wanted to go in executive session, made a request in writing to you or somebody, yes, we can do this, no, we can't. And, because there seems to be an awful lot that I think you should do in open session.
I think the fewer the better, period.
Right.
Yes, yes.
Anything else, Todd?
No, that's it. Wade.
I don't believe I had anything today.
I'm good, thanks.
I'm good.
I think I'm good. Seemed like I had something, but I can't remember. Casey, do you have anything?
Angie just wanted to get the CP5 work session scheduled for next Monday. And probably the following Monday as well. If you guys are good with that, I'll hopefully have the rest of the CP5 turned in.
We're signing warrants.
We are.
Yes. We'll be signing this week as well.
You guys okay with that? Just try
I'll
to
do it sometime. Yeah.
just power through everything next Monday, I guess.
But I think she's thinking the sooner you guys can get started on them, the better. So we can hopefully get everything done before the next payroll.
How, is everything in here now, or are we still working on it?
I think all that we've had turned in are in there. I think we're still missing.
It's still a work in progress.
some. Yes.
Okay. These need to be left here then, or you're still working on them?
Everything that we've had turned in so far are in there, but not everyone has turned them in yet. But if you wanted to take them home and look at them, you're welcome to.
Okay, that's.
But,
I'm one of the violators, I've not turned mine in yet. I'm preparing for a week-long sexual assault trial that starts next week, and that's my priority, and I apologize, but
Connie was wanting to come back.
Yes.
I saw her try to come in about 15 minutes ago, but she turned around.
You may go call her?
Yeah, you might call her, give her a chance, whatever she wanted to talk to us about. Christie, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any?
No,
Or
I'm
do
waiting
like-
on some paperwork.
Okay.
It's gonna take a little bit, so. Ask, is it open? I just come sit down for a little bit. Learn something maybe.
Getting close to adjourning, does anybody have any public comments? Dan, you have?
Nothing today.
We'll wait for Connie. How's everybody's brackets doing?
Well, I had KU going to number one, no, I didn't.
I had St. John's beating KU.
Did you?
I was excited.
3 seconds left in the game, you were worried about it.
Yeah,
I was.
Yeah, up until that, why, it was.
Yeah. We were watching that, but it was up in Kansas City and at a concert. We were watching the game too.
I had it on my phone, watching play-by-play. And also they made that big run there at the end. I thought they were gonna pull it off.
Self doesn't look very good.
Played it smarter on the valve.
Florida was kind of a shocker too.
That was.
I was a little worried with Michigan and St. Louis, but they took care of business.
They did.
They saved you from being dogged on.
For today, this time.
All right. Excellent. Want to make sure we
Yeah.
got you in again for
Okay.
you, adjourn.
I have one question. If we do the 35, can we go ahead and look at the job description when you look at the other ones too, just to make sure? I mean, I'm not gonna hold you to anything, but just double check them.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna be going into the work session stuff and everything, but, so everything.
Changed it to 35, and I did the new sheets for the step 35.
Okay.
So,
This one, okay. So that basically reflects on one grade change, just a step up one grade. Instead of the two.
Donnie, what was your question again?
my question was, can you still look at the job description?
Oh, I see, okay.
When you're looking at the other ones?
When you say look at the job description, are you talking about
Just compare.
considering the,
Right.
considering
Compare.
the 40 or the, or
Just looking to see if that's where it needs to be.
Oh, okay. Yeah, which, you know, try to find that salary study to see what's mentioned about
Right.
grades and everything. I think that's our biggest issue, is just understanding that. By the time we try to get it figured out, it's probably gonna be time for another study.
Oh, I didn't find that.
Where's the new one at? Oh, Wade has it. Yeah. Any questions on all that? Be okay, you're... Just going with the 35 instead of the 40? On the grade?
On the grade, yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
And all the other changes that we had talked about before, I mean,
They're still on there.
nothing's changed.
Yeah. I just changed the grade.
Went from 5 years to 10 years and, okay. There's a motion in there.
There's a motion to approve the appraisal specialist to job description.
Yeah, so we can do that, and then the other thing, other motions you'd have to.
Update the
Update
wage.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve the job description for appraisal specialist 2 for the appraiser's office, and authorize and direct the chairman to sign the same.
I'd make that motion.
I'll second that.
Okay, McCurry moved, seconded by Thompson. Have any discussion on that motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Passes 5-0. And then we have two.
She had the meeting.
Yeah. I get it here so you can type the motion. Yeah. Okay, I would entertain a motion to authorize and direct the chairman to sign the Coffee County payroll notice for Stella Eccles, appraisal specialist 2, appraiser's office, step change, grade change, wage classification from 30-15 to 35-12, wage $27.73 to $28.26. Effective March 16, 2026.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Okay, Thompson moved, seconded by McCurry. Any discussion?
I still think we need to do these on anniversaries or at the first of the year. Just not randomly whenever we think they need a raise. I think this needs to hold true for all departments.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Opposed.
Passes 4-1. Barker opposed. We have one other motion. Give Casey a chance to get typed in there. Should be 10 there, 3510.
Yes. 510.
Yep, 35-1 on the one I'm looking at anyway.
from 30/12 to 35/10.
Oh, mine says 3510.
Is that not updating?
I don't know.
Is there a different one? Sure said 3510.
Oh, now yours says 3510.
Oh, there,
Yours
it changed its name.
I was gonna say yours is just a little slow.
Story of my life. Okay, entertain a motion to authorize and direct the chairman to sign the Coffee County payroll notice for Heather True, appraisal specialist 2, in the appraiser's office, step change, grade change, wage classification from 30-12 to 35-10. Wage $26.13 to $26.56, effective March 16, 2026.
I'll make that motion.
Second it.
McCurry moved, Avondross seconded. Any discussion on that?
Same thing.
Same thing. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
May opposed?
Opposed.
Okay, passes 4-1. Barker opposed. Right, next Connie. Okay, which one's on? Do we have anything further? So we are at the end of our agenda. Okay, well, I think our work is done here for today then. We'll adjourn at 11:25.